Ill Ego Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, John Nostos, a.k.a. Ill Ego CEO, and I'm here with my two counterparts, Dion, Two Cup Larry, and Cody, Big Meat Mauk. What's going on, fellas?
Yo.
And today we have another special guest on with us. Today we have, are you Assistant Chief of the West Fargo Police Department now?
Yeah.
Yes, Jason Anderson.
Yep.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, pleasure to have you, man. So let's get into some of the nitty gritty. What goes on in West Fargo that we need to know about that's dirty?
Well, first off, we were just talking about the police versus fire hockey game. And I guess I only knew that there was a rivalry from that movie, what's it called, with Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, The Departed.
The Departed. We
Go
were
save a
talking
cat in the tree, you fucking homo. You know?
I've never seen that. I've never seen
it's
it.
a great movie.
You gotta watch
I'm gonna
that.
watch that
That's
now.
a great
I've never
movie.
seen that either.
But
Watch it.
So I just got that from that movie. I actually didn't know that there was a rivalry with the fire department.
Oh yeah, everything we do is we're better than they are.
Yeah.
So they want to always try to beat us at whatever. So it doesn't happen very often.
Is there any actually I don't know, heated exchanges?
No. It's all good.
It's all good fun.
Good love. Yeah.
Except for when they play in the hockey game.
I would assume that's going to be
maybe some fisticuffs.
That's going to be some brutal.
That'd be
There's going to be some real
awesome
hits in that one.
Yeah.
Like when rain does their job, you know, like you ever seen a house burn when it's raining?
Yeah.
They don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
It's raining. We'll put it out. So
sure.
It's a slow day.
Slow day. Right. They need, and firemen need heroes too. So that's why we're around.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, they're good. They're good people. I can't give them too much grief, but they got a job to serve too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think both of your guys' organizations are one of the most important things that any city, especially a big city, but you guys both, I keep saying on this podcast that we need to keep funding the police and first responders in general.
100%.
I think paramedics are really underpaid too, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know that they get paid all that well, and then it's hard to come across. You know, their staffing. I think they're pretty short when it comes to staffing too.
Well, why would you go through all that training if you're going to get paid dog shit? That doesn't make any sense.
Zero, and it's unfortunate that's the case, that they get paid low. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You look at the military, you look at police, you look at fire, and for what a lot of those professions do, you know, I mean, everybody obviously wants more money, but a lot of them really just don't do it for the money. So I think maybe they get away with it because of that. So
just crazy.
You know, we
you
do
could literally save
people.
somebody's life, and you're making, I don't know what they make now, but I think back in the day when I knew somebody, it was like $15 an hour. I was going to
say, I'd like to see a list of the wages, how they've grown in those professions like that, and teacher. And those would be the ones in teacher.
I mean, important jobs like that. I mean, a lot of places are important, but you're right. I mean, when it comes to that stuff, they just don't get paid enough, and they imagine all the stuff that they got to see. Yeah. So it's not just getting paid. It's what mentally is happening to a person that sees. Yeah. The average person doesn't see dead bodies. Right. Yeah. So when we go to a call where there's somebody who has passed, it's kind of normal where we just do our thing, go about a day, and off we go. Where an average person sees that, they're like, it's just not a normal thing for them. So, we got to keep our people extremely healthy, and mind wise, it's crazy.
There was a thing on the recent voting, to boost the pay in police and fire, right?
There's an increased tax.
That was in Fargo, but I don't know about West Fargo, but that was in Fargo.
Fargo had I believe it was a 1/4-cent sales tax added so that they could get equipment and things like that. West Fargo has a 1/2-cent sales tax. We passed that maybe a year or two ago.
And how's that going?
It's great. And I'll tell you, when your community approves or votes for a tax, which nobody likes taxes, right?
Yeah, right.
But when they vote for a tax, to me, you got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
Nobody I wouldn't want to vote for more taxes.
Yeah.
Right.
But our whole community passed. So it's, to me, working in West Fargo is probably the greatest thing. And 26 going on 27 years. I love that community. It's a great community.
Well, I think people came to the realizations how important it was especially after 2020.
Yeah, that was the eye opener. Was 2020 for sure.
All the destruction and the chaos, and
And then how many people quit police forces all over the country?
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It was insane.
Well,
There's so many
too.
people that are so many short firemen, officer. It's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over. That I think Minneapolis, we had a guy down in the training in Minneapolis. There were 350 short
Openings?
in Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
That's
crazy.
insane.
And this is since 2020?
That's today, right today.
Oh, wow.
They're 350 short.
That's scary.
They're supposed to have 800 and some.
That's scary.
Yeah.
No matter that.
Well, that's why all the shit that goes on there is going on. Man.
I was
There
going to
ain't
say
nobody
nothing against
policing.
Minnesota, but
Right.
that's the last place I'd want to be.
I'm going to go yes with you on that one, right?
So you got that little weasel, Jacob Frey, saying that we need to defund the police. And now they're crying, saying that we need to refund the police.
Yeah, of course. That's what always happens, right?
Mhm.
It's, you look, if most of these people could take back half their statements they'd make, because now look at it. You don't got anybody out there working there. No, go to the cities once. You won't see a traffic stop.
Yep.
They ain't making any traffic stops.
We
They're
saw a
probably
video.
scared, right?
I mean, you had to get prosecuted because
They're
it's
scared
something
to get repercussions from doing your job,
everything, right? And if something bad goes, you might get charged with a crime if you did something right.
Yeah.
So I know that you're in a position, but I have to ask you too. Okay. So let me give you my perspective first. We all discussed this for the past, I don't know, friggin' 3 years or whatever, since it's happened. And we also watched a documentary of the fall of Minneapolis. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't, I'm not a political watcher.
Okay.
Guy,
So
yeah.
in the documentary, they really break it down, right? Everything that transpired during that whole entire time period. But, based on what we saw, what we read, it was our understanding that this was a training procedure that they were taught in their training manuals. Okay. Not only that, but he came out in the toxicology report that he had drugs in his system,
fentanyl, I believe,
and also he had COVID at one point, right? Not only that, but he was a 6'3", 250-pound guy. You can tell by the video, Derek Chauvin is tiny, like he's skinny as hell.
Yeah.
Okay. And I told this before, but I did this to one of my coworkers. My coworker at the time, he was very skinny. He's probably my height, very skinny. I said, I just want to see, lay down. Let me put my knee on your neck and see if you can breathe. And I swear to God, I put all 250 pounds of my weight on his neck. And I said, can you breathe? He's like, it's very uncomfortable, but I can breathe. Right. Now, there might be other, factors that played into that, like, hyperventilating, whatever, like he's freaking out. Right. I don't know. Could he have done something differently? Probably. Right.
Certainly.
But at the end of the day, I think it was extremely bad timing. And it's very, very, it's even thinking about it to this day, it's so weird thinking about how that happened right before the election.
Isn't it?
It's very, very strange how that happened just months before the election. Right. And of course it got blown up all over social media.
Yeah.
Right.
All over. Yeah.
So politically, I know you're going to have to probably give a tap dancing answer, but what is your opinion on that situation?
Well, I was a defensive tactics instructor for 22 years of my career. So I taught a lot of the stuff that, the guys do on the street to keep themselves safe, as well as to cause as little harm as possible, right? We don't want to hurt anybody. We don't get hurt either, but so we got to use enough force to try to get to the outcome as safe and without causing as much damage or harm to somebody else, right? But like you said, when you're kneeling, we don't train to kneel on the neck. Sometimes, depending on the situation, if they're still fighting, that's what happens because you're not paying attention to the movement that's going on. But that wasn't the case here. It's not the best place to kneel, but like you said, I mean, you can do that to somebody. It's on the back of the neck. The last time I checked, that's not where we breathe from.
Right. Windpipe. Now,
it does make it very difficult to breathe when you have somebody leaning on you like that. I don't want the big man over here to kneeling on me like that. I'll be sucking wind, right? But for so long that he did it, add in all the other factors, yeah, I mean, they could probably done something a little different. I mean, you put people in a recovery position, and there were other officers around. But I don't like to second guess an armchair quarterback because I wasn't there. So it's hard to look at some of those situations and go, oh, I'd have done this or I'd have done that because you're not there. So it makes it tough to want to armchair quarterback a lot of that.
Yeah.
Which is what I have to do. And sometimes in my position,
right,
when like we get in pursuits, you got to watch pursuit and go, ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I suppose that's tough.
Shouldn't probably done that.
Yeah.
But at the time I wasn't there.
Yep.
So, you kind of got to take the moment in perspective.
And he got 40 years, right?
You got a long time.
That's 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Good behavior. He'll be out in 2.5.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how it's working these days.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, he might not be wrong.
Right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he will, unless he gets a retrial. I don't think that he will be out.
Well, he was a political statement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics
of the circumstances.
Really,
sure.
Yeah.
Really is.
Which it's just, again, it's like, dude, you got to be the most. That sucks. Like that freaking sucks.
Yeah. Here's how we do things. At least how we train our guys. It doesn't. You deal with the police.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you're dealing with the police officer, regardless of what it is during the day, it's probably not the best part of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Either you had something stolen from you, your house got burglarized, you got beat up, you got on a traffic stop, something's going on where you needed us. It's usually not the best time of the day for you, right? So most people have some emotion going on, right? Whether it's good or bad when we're dealing with them. And no matter what, what we try to push in our department is you treat people with respect regardless, right? Mm-hmm. Throughout the whole thing. And normally you usually get a very good outcome. Now, obviously there's times where you can't because someone's getting a little, squirrely or whatever, but if you just treat them with respect, they're having a bad day too. Even if they're wrong, even if they're doing the wrong, you treat them with respect. And we're all on camera now. Everything we do is, everybody got a phone, right? But now we all are on camera too. So it's just best to treat everybody with respect and move forward with their day. So it's tough it's not like when I started. Nobody had phone. I don't even know if there was phone back then. 1998. There might have been
you got emergency
brick
brick
phone, brick phone. Yeah. So we try to teach our guys that treat everybody with respect. They're having a bad day. The outcomes it's usually favorable, and I think we do a really good job of that.
Sure. So kind of get into it. Let's get a backstory of how you got started in the force and what you all done.
Well, my sister was a cop in Breckenridge.
Oh, no kidding.
She probably stopped Cody one time.
I was saying, because she was there when Cody was in school.
I was going to say.
She might have been, on a call with Smashing Pumpkins or something.
Did you ever go into Breckenridge?
We went over there to Smash Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. So my sister was a cop back when I was in high school. She was about 8 years older than I am. So I was thinking I don't know what I wanted to do. So she was actually a cop for like 6 months in my town in Barnesville. And I don't know why, but I'm like, I kind of want to be like my big sister. I was the youngest of the three of us. And so I went to school to be a police officer. In 98, I got hired in West Fargo. I've been there since the last 20, coming on 27 years. So, and I've done almost everything in that building. From patrol to school resource officer, which is probably one of my best jobs I ever had, in the schools. Patrol sergeant. I was an admin sergeant. I was an admin lieutenant, patrol commander. Now I'm an assistant chief, but I did bike patrol, defensive tactics, helped with our citizens academy, a lot of public relations stuff.
Yeah.
I like to get involved in the public a lot and speak and just kind of get out there and get people to know who you are outside of just that,
Are you part of the SWAT team?
I was on the bomb squad for 13 years.
How was that?
I didn't do the hut stuff. I blew stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I run the robot
Okay.
back in the day. So
Did you guys didn't get any calls?
yeah, we get 20, 30, 40 calls a year sometimes, you know.
Wow.
And a lot of them were actual devices where somebody made a device that we had to take care of.
Oh, wow.
You know, a lot of times we had a backpack out by the federal building one day. Someone just left a backpack, and this was many years ago. So you just don't leave backpacks
Anywhere.
right?
Yep.
Let alone by the federal building.
Yeah.
So I got to go in the suit, walk down range, and you put the suit on, and you're like, is this
it?
am I going to meet the big man? Is this the plan? So, you know, I got to do some fun things after the fact was done.
When you get in that suit, like, is it supposed to protect you? Like, is that going to save your life?
It depends on the blast, you know. I mean, if it's something little, I mean, it can.
Yeah.
But you know, the overpressure from something big or
And being that close
it's just
to
basically whether or not I get to have a open casket or not.
Fair enough. You look pretty.
Yeah. It's an 80-pound cumbersome, you know,
Big suit.
and you can only see like about 6 inches worth from left to right. I mean, you got no vision.
I bet your nerves just get going and adrenaline.
You get some adrenaline going down when you're walking down range on a device. Whether it's we've blown up milk cartons before that turned out it was in a backpack. It was milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
the ones that had bombs in them, were they just
pipe
effective?
bombs? No, just pipe bombs. They didn't set it off yet. With 2 or 3 cases where people were making the stuff in their home. So, you know, then you get other agencies involved, ATF, Fed agencies and whatnot that want to come in and handle those things. So it's an interesting addition to what I've done. I spent 6 weeks down in Huntsville, Alabama to become a certified bomb tech.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
How's the training for that? Was it like,
Oh, nuts. Like
It's probably tough.
Intense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's tough.
You don't just get to pass.
yeah.
I mean, we're taking
Is that
tests.
through law
Hey,
enforcement?
we gotta
or
watch
is that
this.
military?
Military.
Yeah.
We were at Redstone,
Okay.
or Redstone Arsenal, I think it is, down in Huntsville, Alabama. So, and I don't know if that was the first time I've ever been down in the deep South like that. So trying to understand their English.
Yeah.
What the heck? On my first day in
Something
class,
else.
I looked at the guy next to me and I said, what did that guy just say? I was looking at him, he's going right there. And I'm like, what? He said, you'd be DRT, DRT, what? And I'm like, what? You'd be dead right there. And I'm like, so yeah, it was good. It was a good time. That's some intense training.
was there quite a few people like in the class, I guess you would call it? of sorts?
It's about an 18-month to 2-year waiting period just to get in there.
Mhm.
About
Oh, wow.
25 people. Not everybody made it through. If you didn't pass the test, you got
Yeah.
one shot to retake it. Then I go back home. You got to tell your boss why they just spent that much money on getting you down
Sending
there
you
that you
down.
got to come home now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like, I mean, I don't know, military EOD guys, man, they blow up some big stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Car bombs.
we would take on the fireworks people, pyrotechnics, right? When they get duds on their
Sure.
shells, 4, 6, 8-inch shells.
Yep.
We had a hell of a shot out in the county and set the railroad track arms down.
Oh, really?
Big old magnesium balls everywhere, shook the train.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's calls that we've gone on there. You're walking down range and you're not real sure what's about to happen. Just got to hope for the best,
That's pretty crazy.
What's the worst call you've ever been on?
Well, I was working the day, Mosier was taken out. I was working that day. I did not go down to that scene. Not even being a part of it, right? It was probably one of the worst days. July 14th, a couple years ago, with Zach Robinson's ordeal over there on 25th Street, working. Again, not a part of it, but one of the worst days of my career. When things like that happen. And actually, I was working, our chief now, Chief Nielsen, we had a situation in one of our hotels where he almost got shot when he went in, and we had a standoff. West Main, one of our hotels on West Main, and was probably in my city where I was involved in a situation is that when we have a few of our guys that were really close, rounds went off. I mean, when they do the projectile, they show where the bullet goes in. I mean, had our chief now not probably ducked down a little bit, that one would have probably went in him. So, wow, not a good time. But calls like that are easily the worst. That we're close to.
Is that like a domestic violence?
No, that was
drugs.
I think that was a couple of juvenile girls and with an adult male. They shouldn't have been there. Wanted to be there, but shouldn't have been there. Type of deal. It's just not good. You want to get the kids out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've got other people. You can't just fire back because you got other people in the room. It's not safe either. So you guys just had to retreat out of there, and we eventually had to get. I think we got SWAT involved in that one, and they ended up getting them out of there. So munitions, pepper, all that good stuff gets pumped up. A lot of less lethal stuff happens. We've gotten good at less lethal now, instead of when we can to not have to use lethal force if we can get to a safer outcome. That's positive at the end of the day, I guess.
Is the domestic violence calls usually when it gets sticky?
It can, because when you're about to take, usually, and it's usual, it's not always, but when you're about to take the guy out of the house, that's the breadwinner, right? It's the guy who makes the money. And when the ladies, they call it in, it's like, I don't know if it clicks, and they're like, oh, shit.
Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And then they get past that, and we're
so
just
you're fighting two people.
Yeah. We've had many a day where you're peeling somebody off your back because you're trying to fight with the guy, Domestics are always hairy.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, huh? That in those serious domestic cases, that a woman would instantly get defensive when you show up to go ahead and arrest the guy or do something like that. You see that all the time.
I don't know that a lot of times they ever think that that's going to be the case. I think they just want you to stop.
Right.
What's going on, right?
Yeah.
And kind of separate some stuff and settle everybody down. But I don't think they registers that way. We're about to take him out of here.
Yeah.
Because that's how you do settle it down.
Yep.
So it's a tough situation. You're going into somebody else's house.
Yeah.
And you talk about emotions. I mean, that's a tough situation.
Yeah. Do you guys so you're in the West Fargo district? Do you guys help out Fargo a ton, would you say?
Yeah. We Fargo and West Fargo, we work really well together on all aspects. We have different task force that both agencies are a part of that work together with.
Okay.
Fargo will get a pursuit of some sort, or somebody will run from them, and a lot of times they'll come out to West Fargo, which is Fargo doesn't do pursuits.
Yeah.
Right. They'll trail, right? They'll follow, make sure if maybe the guy stops or whatever, but they don't technically pursue. Well, when they come out to West Fargo, we enacted a pit procedure.
Nice.
So I'm going to just air quote this, but we bump people in the rear end and spin them out. So if they come out to West Fargo and they run from us, all of our guys are trained to do a pit maneuver because we want to end that.
Yeah.
We want to end that pursuit. These guys are going, however fast. We don't want anybody getting hit, crashes through houses, businesses, and stuff like that. So, you come out to West Fargo, we try to put an end to that.
A big problem we've had, it's always been a problem and it's almost impossible to stop, but motorcycles speeding and racing.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys bad this last summer?
Lots of people complained about it, at least.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it got worse really, or if it's just something.
I think it actually got worse. I mean, I think to me, I agree. I mean, you didn't really pay attention maybe a lot, but now that they're, they go in groups.
Yeah.
They get in big groups and then they get their little rice burner cars and what the hell kind of car? The little.
Well, I get what you're saying.
Subaru little whatever the hell those things are.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Right. You get those Too Fast, Too Furious cars, and they'd get in a big group and it'd be loud. So that's what I think really brought the attention to them is they're cruising and they're speeding and they're going fast, but yeah, them bikes, they don't stop.
So you just have to let them go. I mean, really?
Well, essentially, I mean, I don't want to give them the thumbs up to just keep on going, but I mean,
all it's going to take is one crash. Someone's going to lose their head.
Yep. And then if we're pursuing them and they do that, or they T-bone somebody, and somebody else gets hurt, it's possible that we could get, in trouble for that, which is unfortunate. But there's case laws out there that police departments have been sued for things like that.
Yeah.
But the bikes, you can't pit them, you can't spike them.
Right.
What do? You try to stop them. If they don't stop, you just escort them out of town because that's where they're going, or I guess not the hope that they crash, but if they lay it down, at least now you've got
Dude, I'm telling you, if one of those guys ran into me and did something to my kids,
that's what I'm saying. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's just a reckless abandon with a lot of these, and they're kids.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're not grown-ups. They're not grown people. They're not really even adults yet, but they don't think about the speeds that they're going. I'm changing a lane, right? And you got a bike coming up 100, 120 mile an hour.
Yep.
I look in my mirror. They're not there. I start changing lanes. They're there.
Yeah.
And now what?
Yep.
Right. Or these cars that are doing the same thing. Now your family's in there.
Mm-hmm.
You swerved. I mean, there's so many bad things that could just happen. It's
the sad part is these guys are all doing this shit for like social media now. They got their cams, their 360 cams on, or their helmet cams, and they're just showing off, stunting on the streets, and they got license plate, exchanges on them and everything. Like it just gets crazy what they're doing now for social media. And I ride bike, and I get nervous out in the streets, and I always see, all over social media, and you see it on TV, the news there. They're always like, watch for motorcycles, pay attention when you're driving, motorcycles, poor motorcycles, poor motorcycles. And I'm just like, every time I've ever seen a motorcycle in an accident, it was their fault. They were flying around. They were zooming down the internet. Just this last summer, one happened like right at the end of the summer. This kid was driving on I-94, and I know a dude that happened to be filming him. He was like, this guy was not in my rear view a second ago. I switched lanes and he was. And the guy pulled his phone out on the interstate and was showing this kid flying down the interstate on his motorcycle. Literally the next post on Facebook was the news showing that very motorcycle laid out on the ground. This kid fucking had an accident. And all I can think is like, that was on him though. Like, yes, they're telling people watch out for motorcycles and, be concerned about motorcycles on the road, share the roads with them. But it's like,
do so much.
It's the motorcyclers that are doing it to themselves. It's not the people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Yeah, it's the way that they're riding these bikes out there. It's crazy, man. I ride my bike like a chicken shit when I'm out there. Like,
but you got to.
Yeah, you literally do. Yeah,
because there are people that don't see you.
Yep.
And I mean, we had that gentleman who passed away on 17th Street and Main Avenue. That he was just taking a left turn.
Yep.
And that lady blew him up.
That's so
crazy. Talking about the Marine?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends know that.
Terrible.
Guy. And she only got 5 years.
I don't even know if she got that. 5, maybe. Yeah.
A couple years.
Terrible. But I mean, you could literally just be taking a left turn and thinking, I got enough room here. And out of nowhere, 70, 80, whatever the hell she was going, that guy ain't around anymore.
That's so crazy.
He was just going home a block and a half away.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing that speed on 25th? Or
Main Avenue.
Oh my God. That's
flying.
It's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yeah, just flying. It was you have
drunk.
I believe there was alcohol involved in that. And I think the North Dakota Highway Patrol took that one over, but yeah, there was some alcohol involved in that.
So I asked Dustin about this because we were talking about the girl that passed away in Wapton that got hit by the drunk driver too. And that guy only got 5 years. And basically what he was saying is like, just comes down to the state's law and what they can charge them with.
Yeah.
How do you change that? Like, that just seems mind boggling to me that somebody can literally kill somebody like that and then only get a couple years.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, there's got to be legislative change for that to happen. And I agree with you. Cause if that was my daughter or my son or my family member or, whoever's, is that worth that time? I mean,
right.
To me, no. I mean, it's my family member. What I would want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it, but what I'd want. I'm not sure that I'm any different than anybody else.
Right.
you know, and you're going to spend 5 years now. I don't have my family member ever. It's sad, but it's legislation.
Getting out would be worse for that person, in my opinion.
Won't say anything
in 5 years. Yeah,
that's what I would do. I think about it, and I'm like, if I were to be the one in his position, like, or their position in general, not this specific person, nor am I saying they should do something like this, but I couldn't live with myself anymore. Like that would be if I woke up and I realized I just murdered a young girl who had her whole life in front of her because I decided to do this. That's it. I can't be here anymore.
And some people have a conscience to have that. But, you know, a lot of times.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks bad for that situation. That's no good.
It's a terrible situation. And we have it. It happens yearly.
Yeah.
Where things like that are happening. And, you know, I'm trying to think of the agency that, you know, we want 0 deaths in North Dakota from alcohol or on the highways and everything. Mm-hmm. They do a great job at promoting, you know, don't drink and drive. And drive careful, you know, push that 0 death and wear your seat belts. Seatbelts save lives. It's yearly, man. It's yearly. Yeah.
Have you guys seen any kind of decline in like DUIs and stuff like that since Uber has been a thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we've actually, and I don't say this very often, but individuals are smart, right?
Yeah.
Groups are usually not, right?
Got you.
So as an individual, if you're out on your own, normally you're smart. You end up doing some smart thing, but groups of people act stupid.
Yeah.
Just get stupid. So everybody everybody piles in a car.
Yeah.
But with Uber and everything, yeah, man, I think we've seen a great decline. I mean, back in the day when I was still on patrol, I think I gave 22 DUIs in 1 month.
Wow.
I gave 80 in a year.
That's crazy.
Back way in the day. And now I think our top guy got about 8-9 DUIs for the year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's changed drastically.
Yeah.
That's good. I always think that, like, how the hell do people even make the decision to drive home drunk now with things like Uber out there? Like, it blows my mind. Yeah.
Like how I want to.
You got a
DUI, you earned that one.
Yeah, straight up.
You earned it.
There's a lot of ways to not.
There's no way you should get one.
Yeah.
Not with Uber, Lyft. There's taxi out there. I mean, there's still all these people come get your car, drive your car home and bring you home. If you don't want to leave your car out in the wintertime. I mean, there's so many different ways to get out of that.
It's good to know it's dropped a lot though.
Yeah, I think people have really woke up to the fact that one, it's a hell of a life change.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a kick. So I think that people wake up a little bit.
Yeah. That's good.
It helps in the social media. It helps with the news. It helps in all the things that, you know, if you start pushing all this good stuff. So
what does your day to day look like as like assistant police chief? Are you still out there doing traffic stops and stuff like that? Or are you kind of more in the background now? Or how does your day look typical?
You know, my fingers have gotten to be super, super strong. I can really type.
You upped your words per minute.
I'm at least 70 right now. 70 words per minute. You know, I look at my job as it's kind of twofold because I got my chief, right? And to me, I want to make sure that he never has to turn around, right, and watch his back, and everything that may come to him one way or the other through whatever avenues he knows about. If I know, he's got to know, right? So my first job is to make sure that everything I do is to help him do his job successfully. Because if he's not successful, our police department is not successful. So my number one job is to make sure that the chief is good and he gets all the information he needs. My second job is to make sure that the almost 100 people that are in the police department are operating at a good manner and efficient and productive, right? And that morale is good. So being a leader to me is kind of my second job is to make sure that you hold everybody accountable for what's going on and just try to get get the equipment that they need, get all that good stuff that they need. So I mean, it's a daily grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but it's fun. My job is fun because I get to basically be with all the department. And I still come in at night once in a while and hang out with our night crew, the young kids that are out getting into some of the. I always come in if I'm not out there at night and I get there at 6 a.m, I'm always going, what happened? Man, and those guys are just beaming. They just want to tell you all the good stuff they had going on the night before. So, so I'll still come in at night. I've made 3 traffic stops this year.
Nice.
I just got ran off the road the other day into the boulevard. I wasn't happy about that.
In a squad car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not marked, but it's
okay.
it's my squad that I drive around for the day. Just driving down Betts Boulevard, and a guy pulling a trailer just took me right to the curb. I'm on the boulevard. I hit one of them goddamn the yellow plastic little things that are in the boulevard.
Yeah.
Smoked one of those things. I was not happy, man. He got pulled over.
Yeah.
He didn't get a ticket though.
Yeah.
I didn't give him a ticket. I chewed his ass, went back to my car, came back up after I ran his driver's license and everything. And I actually said, hey man, I'm sorry I got a little heated with you because I was pissed.
Yeah.
I might have thrown out a little bit of language, but I had to apologize because I shouldn't talk to him like that. I said, but I was wrong for how I talked to you. I said, but you was definitely wrong on how you was driving. So I said, we're even. I didn't give him a ticket. I felt, I like the guys breaks. Everybody needs a break here and there. So
good.
Yeah.
Hey, so are you familiar with everything that's going on in the sheriff's department?
Am I?
Well, it's public, right? So,
you
John
mean,
just released a letter today about that. Yeah.
The 3 things.
Get caught up with all that stuff?
Jesse's a good buddy of mine.
He's awesome.
Yeah. He's been a friend of mine we both got hired in 1998. So we were roommates at one time.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah. I kicked him out of his house one time. And then I told him he had to stay in his room one time too. It's a story for off camera. Off mic though. Yeah. So he's a good buddy of mine. And, I kind of know a little bit the new one. There's a new one. There's 3.
There's 3 total.
Yeah.
This latest one, I don't know a lot about, but the other 2 I kind of know about.
So there's one that I just found this out because my mom saw it on the news. Was one of the individuals was watching some sort of it was like adults abusing children. I guess it was
child porn stuff.
Child porn is what
it was like it was child porn, but it was like adults abusing children. I don't know if that means physically.
Yeah, I don't know any details about it.
Yeah,
I just know what's been on the news. Probably no different than your average. So
I saw this in a post. Johnner had posted it, from the Cass County Sheriff's page on Facebook. And right, you always go to the comments because that's where all the know-it-alls are,
Right, eating the popcorn, right?
But like there was a couple people in the comments who were like, when this guy was first trying to join, the sheriffs or whatever, that people were outing him saying, no, this guy has a history. He's like a, child predator or pedophile or some shit. And they were like, how do you even make it onto the, into the sheriff's department when they had this information in advance? Like everyone's tearing at this dude. Like he's a known guy for doing this stuff. And then they got mad too that Johnner didn't mention anything about that part in his letter. So like, the comments are always filled with all the glorious people that know everything. They're
usually the keyboard attorneys and keyboard police officers and keyboard military guys, they're all keyboard warriors out there that know the best, so if I knew a lot about it, I couldn't even tell you anything about it anyway. and I honestly I don't, that's the truth. I just don't know about it. And I actually called Jesse today and he screened my call today. I was pissed at him. He still ain't called me back, but
he's probably busy.
I can tell you, I feel bad for that guy right now.
It's unfortunate,
but he's been, from what I've seen, I think he's handled it the best he can with being as transparent as he can about the situations, which is always tough as a leader in an organization like that.
And that's why I ask you, because you're, assistant police chief, you deal with a lot of employees too.
Yep.
And especially his department's over 250
people.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
It is.
And And just like any organization, including the military, there is going to be some people that squeak through.
Yep.
There always is.
And listen, man, we do background checks on.
That's what I was going to ask.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've had lie detector tests. We do drug tests. We do physical tests. We do the background check. We run them through an NCIC through the entire all United States. If you were convicted in a crime anywhere, in any of the area of the United States. So, I mean, our background checks, heck, sometimes they can take, 4, 5, 6 weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on, I mean, you got a 21-year-old kid who's done nothing. He just came out of high school and basically just left mom and dad's house. Those are pretty easy, but you talk a guy we get some people that are 30, 40 years old sometimes that are starting off, and there's a lot of life there that you got to look into. But yeah, I mean, we do. And I know the county does it. Fargo does. We all do background checks, but if it's not there,
right.
Defined, it's not there.
Yeah.
And
regardless of if people cue you to like, hey, this person's done this, if they've never been
convicted of it, or or it's never been even reported, it's just because someone's saying it.
Yeah. I mean, how would that guy know? That's
how do you
the thing.
prove that?
Like, unless he was convicted, how would he know?
He knew him from.
Maybe, but are you going to take somebody's word for it?
I mean,
yeah. He said, she said.
He said, she said.
Yeah. And then now you're talking rumor mill stuff. So, but what you do, however, is you tell me, oh, I know that guy. And now I should, as an investigator, take what you said and try to run with that lead and find out what I can find out if this is valid or not,
Right.
So we'll do that. But if there's nothing there at the end of the day, if I run that lead down and there's at the end of the day, there's nothing there, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to hire people that are going to put a bad stain on the profession itself, because that is what happens. One guy.
Yep.
Now we all.
Right.
All of us.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what job it is. It doesn't matter what race it is. It doesn't matter what religion.
Yep.
One person. Now it's all of them.
Right.
When you think of it, it's like, well, I don't go to work and like go back and go to my coworker's house and be like, hey, like, what's up? You want to hang out? Or like, what are we doing? No, I go there, I work, I go home and I live my life. So I'm sure they do the exact same thing.
It's just kind of weird that it was like 3 of them at the same time.
That is the bad thing.
You gotta, what's that called in hockey? 3 goal. What do you get?
A hat trick. Hat trick.
He got a hat trick right there.
Yeah.
One of them was buying some, and I don't get that. I don't get any of them, to be honest with you, but
buying some booze for an underage
person. Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
So
that's weird. Yeah,
I didn't hear about.
He was just being a dumbass at that rate.
That's just dumb. They're all just dumb. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, what do you do? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's Jesse's in a tough spot right now.
I feel for him because I know that he works hard. Like, he works his ass off. He does everything he can in the community.
He's at
every freaking community event.
Every event.
It's madness what that guy does.
Yeah.
And I get it. He's elected official but he's the face of the sheriff's department, and he's got to be out there doing all those things. He's busy.
Yeah.
That's why I tell Chief Nielsen, he's the same way. He's running he's like, how do you do it? You only got so many hours in a day. How the hell do you do it? Like,
yeah.
I mean, half the time you don't even know where they're at because they're bouncing to every little thing there is. And because they have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to keep your community happy with everything you're doing. So you have to make those appearances. So, and Jesse's got, Cass County is the biggest county in the state. So
right.
I wouldn't want that job.
Is there an assistant sheriff?
There's a deputy.
Assistant deputy.
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was something like that.
It's Holland, his last, Dean Holland.
Okay.
Good guy too.
Yeah.
Jesse's got a great staff.
Yeah.
He does. Just like you said, there's 250 people.
That's
somewhere in there. There might be, we have 100.
Yeah.
In West Fargo. Fargo got 252. 250 plus or 190 or whatever it is. Is every single one of them going to be awesome every single minute of the day? I hope so. I mean, I believe so, but maybe not. I mean, everybody makes a mistake. those are big mistakes.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little less mistake. Like you got a speeding ticket, but sometimes things do slip through the cracks, and that's in every profession.
Yeah. And it is unfortunate that it stains the whole entire organization from a few bad apples.
Yep. And that's the worst part about it. But like I said, with the Chauvin thing, it's all cops are bad now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that ain't the truth. Because I know a lot of good police officers that do a lot of good things and go out of their way, to try to make their community better. And it's sad, but that's just how it is. That's society today.
John had sent a video the other day, and I couldn't even watch it because it was.
I didn't watch it either.
There was a child. There was a lady that was holding a child. John, maybe you can tell the story.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch it.
You're talking about the one where she called the dad, right? They were like
showed up.
We didn't watch the video. It just said cop shoots
the one with
mom holding
the
a
mom
child.
that the baby got killed. Yeah. There was a fight with like her boyfriend's or her baby's dad's mother. So the cops showed up. They find this chick like in the bedroom in the closet holding the baby, and you can already tell by looking at her mental health written all over her, And her head is shaved. She's just this tall, skinny white chick, not saying a word to the cop. And he's like, "Can you please come in here, sit down, let's figure out what's going on." And she just kind of walks over, sits down, doesn't say a word. And she's sitting at the edge of the bed. And out of a moment's notice, she reaches onto the nightstand there, grabs this giant knife and just lunges at the cops with it. You can see it on their dash cam, but then they freeze it because the end result was they killed her and the baby.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the baby was like 8 months or something like that.
She was holding it.
She was holding the baby and lunged at them with this giant, like it was a big knife, like a big like steak knife or something. She was lunging at them, and you could see that they both jump back and they're like, "No, wait, don't!" And then I'm sure they had to draw right away and do something, but it was really unfortunate because she got her baby killed in the process too.
Was it shot or
shot?
Oh man,
yeah.
See, I mean, now I'm done as a police officer.
I can imagine.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
And that's what I said. I said that those guys are going to be riddled with PTSD the rest of their life.
They're
sure.
done.
They're
you're
cooked.
done.
But again, in the comments section, there's everybody about how wrong the cops were and what pieces of shit, and they should go to prison for life. And I'm always on the fence with this kind of stuff ever since like the whole Minneapolis thing in 2020. And I'm really like skeptical, like, okay, but what else could they have done at that moment? That knife was massive and she lunged straight at him. Like she wasn't pretending or trying to threaten them. One of them was about to get stabbed with this knife and this lady had the baby in her arm. So yeah, I don't know what you do in that situation. I'm not trained to understand how to react to that either, but
and I don't think anybody knows, like we can sit here and talk about it.
Yeah.
But until you're standing there,
yeah,
that's a right now decision.
Split second.
That you got to make.
Yeah.
And man, you just got to hope the training that you've got comes out at that moment. And I'd love to tell you I'd be able to handle that situation and everything. I'd get the baby, superhero like, but until you put in a position like that, you just don't know.
Well, I like how everyone like thinks that you should be able to just like
wing them,
be the best. Like since you're a cop, you decided that you now are willing
disarm
to
her.
get killed first off, to protect people. But also, if there's no one to protect, you should still be willing to get killed.
Yeah,
even though
and we are all marksmen. Like, I should be able to shoot
shots.
your one finger.
Yeah.
Or shoot him in the leg.
Right
down the barrel of the gun.
Hear it all.
Yeah. And I've always, when I did defensive tactics, we'd put a red man suit on and we'd put our guys in actual situations. Obviously not with live firearms, right?
Yep.
But our guys would actually get put in situations. We'd make them fight out of it. And
Nice.
It's tough, but now we have ammunition rounds that we use for when we do some of our training. We do active shooter training. We go into schools, we go into businesses, and you learn tactics quick when you're getting peppered with little BB rounds that hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, but you put you in a situation like that, you just got to hope that your training comes out in the best situation possible. But that I'm done. Tomorrow I'm done. I'm hanging my gear up. I'm done. I'm going to work at Shields.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah. I don't know how you continue.
I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this whole police immunity stuff that Trump has been talking, that's causing a bunch of controversy because of situations like that. And I think one of the big topics they brought up was, I don't remember where this was, like Ohio or some shit, but like there was that one situation where the cops killed this woman in her house who had called the police.
The boiled water.
And she threw a pot of boiling water at him, and he ended up shooting her. And people were like, that cop under Trump's new policy would have gotten away with that for no reason and stuff like that. But I don't think that he means just, if a cop fucks up, they get off. He says they still have to stand, trial and go through the process, of whatever went down at that time and situation. But what are your thoughts on police immunity?
Honestly, man, I've been doing it for 26, 27 years. I mean, if you're in a situation and you try to handle it the best you can, if you're wrong and you don't have a malicious intent to that,
right?
You still, even though not malicious, I'm still responsible for everything that comes out of my gun or my taser or whatever. I'm still responsible for everything that comes out of that.
Yeah.
And if I hit someone or something that I'm not aiming at, I'm shooting at Cody and I hit you. That's me. Yeah. That's on me, right? And I should be held accountable for those things that I did wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And that does come with part of the job that, we got a lot on the plate when it comes to that, but immunity, you still gotta, then we are going to run around as cowboys and Indians, it's just everybody going to do everything they don't care anymore. But
yeah.
We still got to be held accountable.
Oh, for sure.
What we're doing. That I don't think there should be any immunity for anything we still got to look at those actions that are taken.
Right.
Because people are just going to do whatever the hell they want to do. That's just not a good end,
Cool.
But that situation you're talking about, I watched that too, and I was like, ugh. I cringed a little bit.
Yeah, that was a little tough.
See, the tough part I see with like the immunity part is like in the case with like George Floyd, it's so televised that you can't even offer a fair trial. And not saying that it was wrong or right, you can't offer a fair trial because the world has already decided for you what your fate is.
Yeah, that was done.
Yeah, literally, the world did.
They were saying they were gonna have the trial in Moorhead, right next to Robert Astor. And I was like, no way, dude. Like, that'd be the worst case scenario, right next to the school.
It ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter
because it's not like Moorhead doesn't have TV, and radio, and I don't think that's what Trump's trying to say.
Yeah.
Right.
But me personally, I think we got to be held accountable for what we do, good and bad.
Yeah.
And then
otherwise, it just makes kind of like a free for all. If the cops think they can't be busted for anything.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's already ones out there that do that.
Yeah.
And I'd like to believe here in our community here, in our little, in Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo, I like to believe that that's not our case here. We do, our people are held up a little higher by our organizations. Yeah. So we don't have that type of mentality. We all like to mess around and screw around a little bit here and there, but when it's time to be professional, it's time to be professional. So I think this area, our community that we have here, and I'll speak for West Fargo because that's where I work, but our community holds us to a higher standard. Yeah. And the love they show us by Thanksgiving meals sent to us, always getting things brought over, donation. I mean, the community expects that from us. And so I think we owe it to them to be on that upper tier level. So
that's dope.
We hold our guys responsible. We have more complaints in our department from our administration than we have from the community coming in.
Oh, wow.
So we get more complaints that we bring out than we get outside of our agency coming in.
Mm. Yeah, I would vouch for that. I think for the most part, we get a lot of cops at our gym, in West Fargo and Fargo, and I mean, they've all been just stand-up dudes, 100% of the time, and they're very realistic in their point of views in and out of uniform. So I always appreciate that.
We like to. I mean, it's places like that where you make a difference to a lot of people, because how many people are at the gym? How many people are in? They see you outside of uniform, so it's nice to know that that's not who we are.
Right.
We're other. I'm a dad. We're son, a brother. We're more than just the uniform.
Right.
So it is nice to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys train MMA at all when you're doing defensive tactics and stuff?
We not MMA, but we do have, we do extensive ground fighting. We go to Minneapolis. we use a group out of the cities. That's a reputable training group. But with some of our people go to the Brazilian jiu-jitsu classes around here. We had 4, 5, 6 guys that roll around that. So it's 2 of them are actually 2 of our females that do that BJJ out there are 2 of our defensive tactics instructors. So that's nice to have. They go out there, so they bring some of that. They'll bring some of that to the defensive tactics unit and whatnot. But we just got a couple good guys that are you stay in shape, wrestling, stuff like that bring it. But yeah,
is that something you would like to implement, like as a mandatory training, just bringing in BJJ if you had the funding to do it?
That would be optimal, but it comes down to money.
Yeah.
So what we do then is we'll send a couple to a particular training and expect them to bring that back.
Yep.
So with the girls that are doing that, they'll come and what's useful for our jobs.
Yep.
Because not all that's useful.
Right.
Some of it is for fighting and doing other things, but a lot of it is protect yourself.
Right. That's what it comes down to.
That's those things we could definitely incorporate into some of our training.
I think a lot of the problems that, we've had lately with dealings with law enforcement in public is if the law enforcement officer was like highly trained in BJJ, they probably would have alleviated a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And some of that stuff takes coordination.
True.
And takes some skill.
Yep.
And not always are all police officers the most skillful, coordinated human beings.
Or fit at that.
Or fit.
Yeah, you keep yourself fit.
You have to be an athlete.
That's true. Yeah. So,
and I'm not knocking on anybody
for sure.
But I like to stay fit.
Yeah.
And our department is a pretty fit department. We got a lot of guys that hit the gym. And we got a lot of guys that eat well and take care of themselves.
So that was my next question is when you go through a hiring process, is that something you look towards? Like,
well, they got to pass, it's called an MPAT test. MPAT test. And you have to complete it's kind of like an obstacle course. You have to complete that in under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And, you look at, when I set it up and you look at it, you're like, that's no big deal. You run that thing, your ass is dead at the end of it. And there was a time.
Cody wants to try it.
I would say we're setting it up Sunday night.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll bring the cameras
right
up.
after hockey.
I'll come smoke that.
Let's see if our military can handle the local police department
setting
test.
it up at the Wrestling Center on Sunday night.
I got a hockey game.
You got lucky right now, bro.
Well, what time is that done?
7 to 8.
I think we're playing.
I think I'm setting up at 8, so it'll be done by 8:30.
Perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's perfect time. And you'll be
for you. I'd wait around
6 minutes.
6 minutes 30 seconds.
You can do it, dude. You're in shape right now.
I can do it.
You've been training like an athlete, remember?
Yeah.
Hey, well, listen, if you can play hockey for how long you guys do that?
An hour.
Oh my God.
He's fine.
2-3 minutes to crack at going hard like that.
Can you do pull-ups still?
A few.
How many?
Can you?
That's what I worry about.
Crawl underneath like a 30 or about a 30-inch little. Can you get under?
Yeah.
Under like a little 30-inch little
and
bar.
Crawl.
Yeah.
Bull crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
That's probably the toughest part for you. You built like a fucking 4x8.
There's no like
board.
There's like no rope pull up, nothing like that.
No.
So it's okay.
No.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be all right. Yeah. I was gonna say that would be where I feel like Cody will get caught.
Yeah. No,
he's too heavy for
climb
that.
up a rope.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that.
No, you gotta launch over a little like a board, but that's no big deal.
Yeah.
Do a balance beam.
So you have something for an entry, right?
Yeah.
So how do you maintain standards then once they're in the department?
Yeah, ongoing testing.
So that's what I've seen. Like everybody knows, like hops and donuts or whatever. But you see some of these guys with huge bellies. It's like, dude, you can do something and then run. They're not going to catch you.
Right.
So how do you maintain standards?
I think you got to push the wellness portion of it, not just mentally, but physically. And I can tell you our department, Chief Nielsen, matter of fact, he So we're outgrowing our building, right? So we wanted to get a new building. Well, the price tag to the community was huge. It was a big price tag, and he decided we don't want to push that to our community yet. So we expanded once the city operations moved out of that building and moved out south in West Fargo. So we've expanded a little bit and pushed some of our stuff out to the west on that old building. But we just put in a kind of like a new gym with a lot of really nice equipment.
Yeah, I've heard it's really nice.
Awesome.
I've seen some pictures.
Yeah, because
we lost a lot of members.
Yeah. Well, did they? I don't know. We had some guys actually stop their memberships in some places, and I was like, "What?
Yeah,
you still gotta. It's still nice to go to the gym, But we gotta. You just gotta push the mentality that you still gotta keep yourself in shape, and you still gotta maintain a physical ability. Well, I guess for me, it's just like. Get your ass kicked.
Well, that's okay. So I was just listening to Rogan's podcast. He had John McPhee on. He was a former Army Ranger, right? And they were talking about, cops and whatnot. And that's basically what I was saying. It's like in a position, in a job that you are literally putting your body on the line potentially, like you want to be at peak performance every single day that you show up to work. You want to be at your peak performance. So the people that are not working on their bodies, like that's crazy to me, because if you lose that fight, you're dead. Like potentially you could die.
And that's how we kind of train them doing DT. It's like you have one chance, or if you handle things properly, you have the rest of your life to do this particular situation. If you do it right or you don't. Right? Yeah. So to try to keep yourself in the best shape that you can, we push that through our people. We got a guy, one of our officers. He's going to a class for eating, dietary stuff, to properly eat. Right. We're going to put a class on for the police department to how to properly eat, because a lot of guys go to the gym, they gym the hell out of themselves.
Yep.
But then they go home.
Yep.
Eat shit and don't do a damn bit of good.
Yeah.
But they just wasted everything they did at the gym. You maintain where you're at, status quo, because you ate like shit, but you went to the gym.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to implement proper eating and dietary stuff. Not everybody's going to do it. Can't make them.
Yeah.
Once they get hired, but we offer that test. We've given time off if you pass the test. So we'll set it up sometimes through the year, and we'll set that test up. And if you want to come get earn some vacation time, our city and our chief has since 2-3 chiefs ago even we allow you can earn some time off if you pass the test. So you kind of promote,
you incentivize.
That's awesome.
Incentivize it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you know what the fastest time is?
I do. We and this is crazy. I'll be proud.
Was you
for 2 years? I held that.
Nice.
And I was 49 at the time, 48 at the time, and 49 at the time. And I had the best time. It was 3:11 and 3:17.
Damn.
And then the third year, I was at 3:20. And one of our guys ran it. He got like 3:23. And he got pissed.
Yeah.
He left. So as everybody, because it was mandatory back in the day to do it. So later on in the day, he comes walking back in the building. I go, "What the hell are you doing here?" He's, "I'm gonna beat your time." I go, "Bullshit." I said, "You already ran it once," and I wasn't gonna run it again. I was dead. I was when I got done, I was laying on the Vets Arena, the West Fargo Vets Arena, on the concrete. And when I moved, my whole body markings of sweat, basically my sweat body mark was right there. I was not gonna run it again. He ran it again and he beat me. So I didn't win it the third year in a row. But this year, we just hired a kid. And he went through our academy and he ran it sub-3.
That's crazy.
Wow. He's a Marine. I think he's a Marine. He's a dude. Watching that kid run that, it's crazy to watch it run, but come on down.
I kind of want to see it now.
Let me guess. He's stringy, right?
He's a little stringy, but he's built.
He's like an American Ninja Warrior.
He's probably a fucking rock. Like, he's built like a rock climber.
Yeah. He's not built like you are. No. He's built more like 5'11".
already excusing himself.
Like to see you get like a 4.5 in it. That'd be interesting.
I bet you score 4.5.
Yeah,
between 4 and 4.5.
probably.
I'd do it over on that. I mean, I'd take the over.
I don't know. I think you'd do well.
We might have to set this up.
I'd be willing to let you do it.
I think that would be a great.
I'll come out with standards,
this
bro.
podcast.
Do you get? Can you air like video and like we could watch you do it on your podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. That would be actually really good.
You could cut out all the bad parts, like if he falls or something.
Yeah.
And,
Nah, we don't
gonna do that.
We don't edit that no more. Yeah. We quit doing that just now.
I was gonna ask. So I assume you've been tased before.
Yep.
Have you been pepper sprayed before?
Yep.
Which one's worse?
The pepper.
The pepper?
Yeah, because that lasted forever.
Oh wow.
And when I did it, they didn't. When I did it, they never tell you to lean forward and wash your face off.
Oh, because it drips down.
Because it drips down. So I don't.
Right in your crotch.
Oh
no.
goodness.
Right. So
That
you
would
get
be
a
the
little.
worst.
You get a little
Yeah.
all over the place. But you get tased. It's 5 seconds. You're back to running again. Nowadays, the tasers compared to when I first started are lights different. It's light years apart.
Like less strong or stronger?
No,
I was gonna say.
Technology wise, the technology in the tasers, it's a computer.
Does it hurt when like the prongs hit you?
Yeah, because they're coming out.
Okay.
And now they're fed. The lines used to be fed so that when it came out, the lines would come with it. So you'd watch it in slow motion. The darts would be kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. Now they're fed from inside the cartridge. So it spools out. So now it's like they're coming out like a bullet coming out. And they hit you. It's whop, So when you have a accidental discharge in the PD every once in a while, we've had that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. You're hoping that you're pointing the thing in the right direction.
Goodness.
Oh man.
So you had to try the old ones, obviously, and then you tried the new ones as well?
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
So we got to spark test them,
which
isn't shooting them out, So we have them so that the arc can go on the taser itself without actually shooting. So if I was to drive it to you, I don't have to shoot you, but the arc still hits it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time you spark test it, the little lightning goes on there. Well, I've had my hand a little too close to the end of the taser. So on accident, I've gotten about a 1/4 second zip before I yank my hand away. And I mean, talk about some feeling in your fingers. So yeah, special words come out when you do that.
I could imagine.
But I haven't been shot.
Yeah. Like with the taser.
Yeah,
with
I haven't
the
been
taser.
shot with the taser, no, because they used to just tape the line on us. They'd expend a cart and then they tape us. But we have got guys that are we go through the academy. Some of those kids, they sign up to
get shot.
I'm like, you're dumb.
So you don't have to get shot.
No.
Okay.
No. I know. But even when I was just a rookie, and they're like, you got to do this, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because you need to know what it's like, right? You need to know what it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not the smartest guy in the room either, but I'm not stupid. You can just tell me what it does. Yeah. You ain't gonna shoot me with my gun.
I was gonna say, you don't have to know what a bullet feels like to know that it hurts.
It hurts. Bad things happen. Show me a video of somebody getting tased. I'd be like, okay,
yeah,
I'm good. Right.
So don't shoot myself and don't commit crime and run.
Right.
I got it. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had both, and they still do it. They still pepper spray the cadets and the guys going through the academy.
You have to get pepper sprayed?
They make them, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I would be like, I can't, guys. I just don't. There's no need. Like
these kids bring like gallons of milk because milk's supposed to
neutralize.
I don't give a shit what you use. That stuff sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably
did
do
it.
that.
That sucks.
You go to a house in the gas house.
We did that too in basic training, but when we were training to go to Kosovo, they had you stand there and then they sprayed you in the forehead. And then you had to run an obstacle course, basically like doing
without touching it,
doing like the baton defense tactics, like for riot control. Yep. And we had to do these courses. And then after you get done, they had a freaking little water hose shooting out. You had to go get baby shampoo and rub your eyeballs with baby shampoo.
That helped.
Not really.
See, I was gonna say. I think I was gonna say something about baby shampoo too. Is supposed to get it out of there. No,
it still hurts. Like it burns. It burns for probably about.
I mean, minutes. That one makes a little. I guess they both make sense because you guys will have to. I mean, hopefully not one day, but you may have to do riot control of sorts.
The worst, and I can understand the pepper spray portion of it for us because it never fails.
Yeah,
when someone pulls out that shit. Mm-hmm. You're going to get it too, because the guy who's got it on him, now you wrestle with the guy or whatever, or the wind's blowing the wrong direction, right?
Yep.
So I get it, which is why I learned in my early days that when someone takes it out, I leave. Like I'm out because I don't want to, or you just get the hell out of there, back away a little bit. I'm like, no, because this beautiful skin of mine is like, it breeds pepper pain and redness and just... I hate it.
Yeah. I'd take secondhand over firsthand all day, though. I think.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't want it to touch my face. That's for sure. Not directly, but
Do you guys got anybody that on the SWAT team? Do you guys got any females on the SWAT team?
No, not there's none. I believe they've had them test before. I don't know if they obviously they don't have any on there now, but I don't.
So that is like my question. So for the current military, they've been reducing standards in certain parts of the military to allow females to be a part as integrated into these certain units. Mm-hmm. And I would hope that the SWAT team probably wouldn't lower their standards to be able to, and I'm not saying like that females can't pass
absolutely
as a male, but, and I had this argument with somebody. I was like, males are built different than females.
DNA, yeah.
It's biological. Yep. Males are supposed to be stronger, right?
Biologically, you bet.
That's why they are in certain positions, right?
Yep.
I mean, if you look at Trump's assassination attempt, those female Secret Service agents, they just totally botched that thing.
Yeah, right. That's my opinion.
So, but then what I've been seeing is like they're lowering the standards for these certain parts of the military to allow females to get in. And I was listening to Pete Hegseth on Sean Ryan's show. And from what I could gather is like these units they're not operating at 100% like they should be. It causes more problems than it should. And so for you guys, you don't foresee you guys ever lowering standards to allow to be more fair, I guess, for females. When we switched over from the APFT, it's our PT test in the military. We switched from the APFT to the ACFT. It's Army Combat Fitness Test. And so we're doing, I think it's like 6 events now, right? When they first implemented it, the males and females were at the same grading standard, but there was very select few females that were able to pass it with the male with the same grading standard. And so they had to switch the grading standard. So the females get a different grading standard to the males because biology matters, right?
Yeah.
And so is that you ever foresee that happening with the SWAT team?
I don't foresee that happening where they lower their standard. This is a group of people highly motivated to end usually really bad situations in the best possible manner. Mm-hmm. With the best possible outcome. And I don't think we can afford lower standards because who are you? You're doing an injustice to your community and those you serve when you lower standards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We have male people who fail that test.
For sure.
Right. Not everybody that tests for SWAT makes it through. They don't shoot right or they don't pass the physical portion of it. I don't think it's not that there are females in our area here that couldn't pass the test. I think we have female officers that could easily pass this SWAT test. It's just whether is that something you want to do? Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. You think everybody wants to be a SWAT guy, right? When they start working police officers, they don't. That's all. I want to SWAT. I want to be this. Right? Not everybody wants to be a SWAT officer. Not everybody wants to get called out of your kid's birthday or your vacation or holidays and go. Not everybody want to be a SWAT guy. But we definitely have females working here in this area that could pass those tests, they just choose not to be a SWAT operator. But I don't see SWAT lowering. I just can't see that.
It blows my mind that is currently happening in our military.
Yeah,
even with elite units.
Yeah,
they're reducing standards.
Not here. No, I think we owe it to our community to keep things where they're at.
Well, especially you guys, like you're dealing with the public and a lot of civilian lives.
As a resident of the area, I would want the
best
in a group like that. I want the best. I don't care what you are.
Yep.
Well, and then it's about protecting each other in those situations, especially where you're putting another individual or coworker's life at risk.
You look at a guy like Zach Robinson, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone had to drag that monster out of somewhere, he's a big dude.
Big. Yep. That's an example.
I mean, I can think I could do it.
Yep.
But I mean, that's a big dude. Yep. He's a big guy, right?
That's exact same example that I brought up. I said, what happens if I go down? Can you carry me out?
Right.
When I got into this argument with this person, I was like, if I go down, can you carry me out? Probably not. Maybe you could, if you're really physically fit.
Yeah,
you could probably carry me up. But keep in mind, I could potentially be dead weight.
Right.
And dead weight's different.
Oh, totally different. Right. We all know that. Yeah.
Or somebody like John. Can you carry him out?
Even the best shaped guys, strong, cardio. I mean, John's a large human being.
Yeah,
and I would do everything I could to get his ass out of there.
You got to carry your kit and his kit.
Yeah,
so that's more weight.
Yeah. Even just if he was like this, and I'm going in to get him out of a situation, and he's hurt or what, I'm gonna pray that he can help me. John, could you kick a little bit, right? Because you're a big dude.
Just put your arm on my shoulder. I got you. I'll just like this, one leg.
I ain't gonna fireman's carry John up over and then walk out the doors. That ain't happening, right? So you want to. That's the other reason is you want to stay fit for not just yourself, but man, you got a job to the community. Yeah. You need to be able to do something to help people out, and that's my worst fear, to be honest with you, is to be working and not be able to be there to help. That's been my worst fear since I started, is to be unable to be at the place to help. Bad shit happens, like with July 14th, right? Worst fear. I can't be there to help that. Mm-hmm. That's been my worst fear since I started. It's not running into a house that's on fire. I've done that. I've saved people. I've saved cats.
We thing on the wall saying that. Right?
Yeah, you and somebody got recognized for saving a couple out of a burning house or something like that.
We made an FBI bulletin and
that's where I saw it.
So running into a house, dumb. It's dumb. The firefighters will tell you that's dumb all day long, right? But I'm not going to stand there and not do it. But not being able to be at to be able to help, not being at the place where the stuff's going down to not help, that's been my worst fear since day one. I'll do what I got to do, and if that puts me in jeopardy, as long as I can try to help, that's my worst fear, is to not be able to. So.
Well, we're glad we have you. Glad we have you on our team.
Yeah, I try to do best, Yeah, it's not always an easy job, but it's been a hell of a good career. I've been lucky. I've been lucky to be surrounded by a lot of good people. Learn from a lot of good people. So.
Good.
And we get to meet good people. I get to come and do fun stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Educate the public, educate people, or just have good conversation. That's always the best part, man.
Yeah. And that's, that we like bringing police officers on just to shed a little bit more light on the job itself. Cause I don't think they get enough. Well, around here, I think for the most part, people are pretty, good with cops.
Yeah.
But, hopefully as this podcast grows, we can shed a little more light on the importance of, for your guys' jobs.
Well, there's 10% of the population that no matter what we do, we suck.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's all the criminals though.
It's usually.
I always say when I hated cops, 'cause I have a bunch of friends that are cops now living here and owning the gym in H&I. But when I hated cops, man, I was committing crimes. You know what I mean? I was a bad guy, and that's why I hated cops. I was just like, oh, cops are shit. They're this. And then it's because I was up to no good, man.
Right.
now I'm running the straight and narrow, and lo and behold, I like them all.
Right. And you can see that there's a different, we're different than just cops. We're humans too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're people, just regular people.
Yep. We're human beings. We have feelings too. And it's nice that it's nice when you get to. I'll be honest with you. I love when that stuff happens.
Yeah,
I love when people turn around a whole life. People come out of jail and make a whole new life for themselves.
Yeah,
man, it gives me chills to know that people have been able to turn their life around, and now they have a different perspective on all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a great thing. I think what you guys do, having some of us on here, I think that's awesome. But I get to meet some great people, and I get to meet some great people who at one time maybe weren't so great.
Yeah.
And then I get to meet some people who were great people then, maybe not so great anymore.
Right.
So you get all the aspects in the spectrum. It's a good job. Like I said, I've been blessed. Good working crew. I've got a team at that police department in West Fargo. I got a great team.
Awesome.
That's why I've been there that long. I tell everybody that. They're like, why you been so that's a long time? Because the people I work with and the community I work for, 100% why I still do what I do.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't like it, I'd be done. That community was, if we lived in, I don't know,
Minneapolis.
Yeah, if I was, I'd have been gone.
Yeah.
There's just no way, man. I'm not going to go do something that you're not respected for what you do. I mean, I don't care I don't care if you're folding clothes at Costco. You should be respected for what you do. You're a productive citizen in the community. You should be treated well. Plain and simple.
I do have one more question. I was thinking about this one today. If there was a incident where, let's say, okay, so we already know that there's some weird shit going on with President Trump trying to be assassinated, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say, hypothetically, if something were to happen and that were to take place and there was civil war, do you guys have any plan in place of what to do in a scenario like that? If like shit were to really hit the fan, like, is there a good scenario where you guys have a plan in place on what you're going to do?
I would say there's probably some directives that would be handed down similar to like with the military, that we would be, I don't know if it's given options or, but there would be some kind of directive from those who make those decisions as to where we want to go. And then I'll be honest, I mean, depending on whether or not I liked the decision, because if someone said, we're going to go and knock on people's doors and we're going to take some guns, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Fire me today because I'm not going to do that, right?
Love that.
Or I still have to be okay with whatever it is that's going to be decided upon to go and do those things. And if I don't like it, I ain't doing it, and I'll just quit or fire me. One of the two, right? I mean, people still have a choice, and that's I would have to make that choice, but.
That's why you and John are friends, because you had the same mentality.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way I would take anybody's guns.
I mean, it's not even just guns. Let's just say anything like that. Right.
Right.
If the government, which I work for, you work for, right?
Yep.
If the government said, go do this, and I went, I'm not going to do that. Unless I was made to do it, I would just quit then. I'd be like, you ain't making, if I don't want to do it, you ain't making me do this. I would just quit, because there's no way, if it's against my moral beliefs or my ethics, hell no, I ain't going to do that. So things like that, I mean, that's a tough question. Probably, one I don't have an answer to. I'm sure there is somewhere a document that'll say something. But even
we
then,
live in unprecedented times right now.
Oh yeah. Crazy.
It's weird, right?
It's crazy. It's 50-50.
Yep.
You look at it, it's 50. half the country thinks the other half is so stupid. The other half thinks the other half is, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
52 years, man. I've been up and down the streets of this world, and I've never seen anything so crazy as this, where people are so separated because of politics.
Yeah.
And you can't just see people for who they are instead of just, I don't care if y'all like Kamala Harris. I still would have came on today.
Right.
Not that I like Trump. I'm not saying I like Trump either.
We get it.
Yeah.
But you could like Kamala Harris and I could be a Trump guy. And I wouldn't care because that's not who you are. You got to like the person for who they are.
Yeah.
And if you don't push those beliefs on people.
Yeah. And it's mostly always been that way up until this last couple times around, because they want to push all their ideologies on people who don't have those belief systems or people who just know real science and are like, that's not factual. Right. So that makes it difficult. And that's where they drew the hard line. So
I
that's
agree.
It. Yeah. I love your answer to that too, man. We need to, I think people need to be more aware that that's how cops think too. They have this whole idea like, these cops and these people in the military, if they were told to, they'd come and, if they enacted martial law, we're all fucked. And these cops are going to take our guns. It's just like, that's not true. Every cop I know, every military guy I know, they're like, no fucking way. Even during COVID, I know guys in the military that were like, they're trying to make them take the vaccines. And these guys are like, I'm not going to do that shit. But they're trying to fight to stay in and not have to do it because they were like, look, man, the way things are going in the military, there's so many yes men right now. I want to be one of the few ones standing there to tell them, no, the fuck you're not.
Right.
When they tell them to go do that shit. And these guys are just taking orders and going to do whatever the hell they're told. So yeah, it's good to hear that there's people like you in that out there still.
I'll hit you on that one too with that shot. There was a moment in there where they were like, you got to take this shot.
Oh shit.
As a law enforcement, they were going to start looking at making law enforcement take the shot.
Mandatory.
Now, whether you believe in it or you don't believe it,
that's not the point.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's not even the point.
I hope people believe. People who got the shot, great, good. I hope it works. But I ain't going to take it. Right? And if you were going to make me to do it, I would just went and got a new job.
Yep.
There's jobs all over the place. I'm good. Shields is probably hiring.
It's busy around this time.
Shields, right?
It's great. I'll walk around there all day.
Put that out on a podcast, but I'll walk. I don't care. I'll go work somewhere else. If it does not go along with what I believe in my heart, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No way. It's not worth it. People got to look at people as a human. We're human beings, man. There's more to us than politics or political beliefs or color or religion. There's more to us than all of that. We're human.
100%.
So it's crazy that people can help some people think differently than that. Than you're blue or you're red or you're Catholic or Lutheran or whatever it is. It's black, white. I don't. We're still humans, man. At the end of the day, treat people like that. I generally don't like most people, but for the most part, I still treat everybody well. So
you hate everybody equally.
Yeah. I'm equal opportunity, not liker kind of guy.
I feel that.
That's awesome. Right on, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on our show, man, and having a talk with us and just kind of sharing some of your insights and a little bit of your history on the force, man. So
yeah, John,
thank you for that. We appreciate your time. You guys got any last minute words you want to throw in?
No, it's great having you on.
I appreciate it.
Again, we're big supporters of the police, fire, first responders. Obviously, we love you guys. We want nothing but the best. I hope we continue to keep funding you guys more and more and give you the best possible training because then you guys have the best possible candidates.
Well, I can tell you things like this is where it's opportunities like these that I think we need to take more of because it shows the appreciation that we get on all levels. Radio, TV, out in the community. Things like this are, to me, that's huge. When my kid told me that Cody's like, hey, see if your dad wants to do this podcast. I'm like, tell him, hell yeah, I'll do that. Shit. But then I started thinking, what if they ask me some really tough questions?
That's why we're not live, we give people the opportunity to go back.
Sometimes I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the room. So but I honestly, I can tell you, I appreciate it. really do appreciate you guys' time and even getting me on here and allowing me to chat with you. It's awesome.
For sure. Cool. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the podcast, tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. That was my Mexican accent, Dion. Don't laugh at that. Talk good, talk bad. Doesn't really matter as long as you're talking about us. Peace.